This is TechCrunch. Kalshi, a prediction market that allows people to bet on future events, has raised a massive $1 billion round at an $11 billion valuation. That is according to a person familiar with this deal. The round comes less than 2 months after the 7-year-old startup announced its previous fundraise of $300 million at a $5 billion valuation. The latest round is led by the company's returning investors Sequoia and CapitalG. Other investors in Kalshi include Andreessen Horowitz, Paradigm, Anthos Capital, and Neo. Kalshi and Sequoia declined to comment. CapitalG did not respond to a request for comment. Now, Kalshi's main rival, Polymarket, was reportedly in talks last month to raise another funding round at a $12 billion to $15 billion valuation, mere weeks after closing a $1 billion round at an $8 billion pre-money valuation. That's according to a Bloomberg report. Kalshi and Polymarket surged in popularity last year after both prediction markets allowed people to bet on the outcome of the presidential election. These betting sites became even more prominent after they correctly predicted the results of New York City's mayoral election earlier this month. For the Mamdani versus Cuomo race, Kalshi purchased ad space on New York subway cars, running live screens that displayed the up-to-the-minute odds of each candidate winning, a marketing campaign that undoubtedly raised the company's brand awareness among New Yorkers. Kalshi allows people in over 140 countries to bet on various future events, ranging from who Time magazine will name Person of the Year for 2025 and the Rotten Tomatoes score for the film Wicked, to outcomes further in the future, like the next U.S. presidential election winner. In mid-October, the company reached $50 billion in annualized trading volume, marking a more than 1,000-fold increase from the approximately $300 million volume posted last year, the New York Times reported. Kalshi was co-founded by two former hedge fund traders, Tarek Mansour and Luana Lopez Lara. The duo met as undergraduate students at MIT while studying computer science and mathematics. Prediction markets have historically been controversial and subject to legal challenges because they operate in the gray area between financial instruments and traditional gambling. While Kalshi has secured the right for Americans to use its platform after successfully suing the Commodity Futures Trading Commission last year, the company is currently engaged in legal disputes with numerous state regulators who claim its activities are illegal gambling. Polymarket has been barred from serving U.S. residents since 2022, following a settlement with the CFTC. In July, the company acquired a derivatives exchange and a clearinghouse. The move helped Polymarket receive the right to re-enter the U.S. market. For San Francisco-based startup Point One Navigation, the value of location extends well beyond real estate, and investors seem to agree. Point One Navigation, a startup that has developed precise location technology, has just raised $35 million in a Series C round led by Khosla Ventures. The company's post-money valuation is now $230 million, according to one insider familiar with the deal. Point One was founded back in 2016 and has developed precise location technology that can be applied to any vehicle that moves, from autonomous consumer lawnmowers and drones to robots, consumer vehicles, agriculture equipment, and even humans donning a wearable device. For Point One, precise location means exactly that. The technology, called a positioning engine, can determine location within 1 centimeter in the best conditions, said co-founder Aaron Nathan. To achieve that, Point One has combined an augmented global navigation satellite system, computer vision, and sensor fusion into an API. Now, typically, that API is deployed as a software product because most new vehicles, like a slick EV or a luxury car, come equipped with the necessary hardware. For vehicles like farm equipment or, say, a first responder that does not, well, Point One adds a chipset into the mix. Point One started with a focus on automotive clients, a sign of the bullish autonomous vehicle technology times. That sector continues to make up a large slice of its revenue. Point One could not disclose most of its commercial customer names, but it did share that its technology supports the advanced driver assistance and infotainment needs of an EV maker and is included in more than 150,000 of its vehicles. Point One also has contracts with some of the largest mowing and turf care manufacturers. A distribution company's fleet of 300,000 last mile delivery vehicles, and a global manufacturer of street and racing bikes. But the startup began to branch out to other sectors around 2021 when it announced its $10 million Series A round, according to Nathan. Now, that helped kick adoption into high gear. Over the past year, the number of manufacturers using Point One Navigation's technology platform has increased tenfold and spans automotive, robotics, industrial, and wearable sectors. Point One's Series C round will be used to build out all aspects of its technology, including its so-called Polaris RTK network, a key piece of hardware that helps deliver centimeter-level accuracy even in sparsely populated areas in North America, Europe, and Asia. Tom Weeks, the company's COO, told TechCrunch, "The industry keeps pressing to higher precision, from precision agriculture to painting lines to mowing a yard. You can't be off by 10 centimeters and go over in a flower bed, so everything's pressing to the 1 to 3 centimeter range." To get that kind of precision, Point One spent 8 years developing its RTK network, a system of small, lunchbox-sized units installed in secure locations like a cell phone tower facility that provides corrections to location. To create a dense network, these stations need to be within 40 kilometers of that vehicle or device's location. That means a lot of stations, which the company is building out. Weeks said Midwestern states where farming is going on all the way to the East Coast in the U.S. require solid density because you have people, you have farming, you have cars and trucks, a lot of middle mile freight. So we are in the process of filling that out. We're almost there. The startup is also working to beef up the technology's capability indoors. Vehicles traveling from outdoors to an indoor parking structure will continue to have that precise location, but Nathan wants to extend that capability to industrial settings where a robot, for instance, may spend the bulk of its life inside. He said, "What we're building next, and that's part of what this fundraising is for, is how do we do long-term indoor navigation as well? When you look at the evolution of the business, we want to solve ubiquitous locations, so eventually it will be indoors and all domains." That's it from TechCrunch. For more stories like these, go to TechCrunch.com.